Here is a look at your gap and go trades for the week of February 16th through the 20th. I will go over price targets on the 5-minute time frame, have a gap recap from February 9th through the 13th, and update the chart as well. Hi everyone, it's Dow on the Dow. First up is Rivian. We ended the week at $17.73, up a whopping 26.64%. Congratulations if you've made some money off of this ticker. Now we are right here, the middle of the trend. It takes us to roughly $4.97. That is one level of resistance and a potential take profit area, as well as the next area I will be tracking, which is 2 standard deviations, 505, above that 510, and we would just be retracing to an area we've been before, roughly $5.14. Ignore all these other horizontal lines. Now to the south side, that's 489 and one level of support, a potential buy-in area, as well as a potential stop loss area. Now below that, 485 and at -4 standard deviations, which I don't think we will get to on Tuesday, but if a wick takes us down there like this wick took us, that would be roughly $4.81. Now, looking left, you can see that this gap is still in play, taking us down to 473. And then there is another gap that takes us to, well, it starts here at 476 and closes out at 444. We are not in the channel, not in the zone, not even close. But something to be aware of. Now, when you check out the chart, first I'm going to show you what happened. Oh, that's a gap that closed right there. It's hard to see because this white line. We gapped down and then it filled to the upside, took us right back to roughly 504. And that's where we started the week that I mentioned. All right, so that's done. And then we got close, thanks to this wick, to this line. That's a clear buy and sell signal line. We attempted it again. And then this is a sell signal, and then we went through it almost to this line. That's your other sell signal. And we touched this line right here, which is a gap, and that acted as support. And here's a clear level of support. Sometimes we don't touch the line, but we get very close, and that's still your signal. And I have my margins very wide. I play it looser, so you can adjust that. And you can see we ran up, and then we gave it back, and then went back up. And what I do is I always anticipate price to stay within -2 and 2 standard deviations, and TradingView recalculates everything for you on the linear. So when I buy something, I don't necessarily want it, but I will sometimes set my buy order at -3 or -4 just to get a really deep discount. And you got it if you set a buy order. And sometimes it moves so fast that you can't get it without putting in that buy order. All right, the next one, that's enough of Rivian. Nike. Well, just know that there are other gaps to the north side here, including this one at 1882 that I've tracked for some time. All right, the next one is Nike. Again, ignore all the lines. Resistance, 63.59, 64.33, and roughly 65.01 to the south side, because there's always a south side, and that's the middle of the trend. We're still in a downward channel. This is also support. We could chop sideways. 62.18, 60.75, and that's quite a range, but should we go lower, 60.05, and then down the road, 59.13. And this gap formed, that will take us down to 61.17. This gap will be, oh, it touched. I was going to say I was about to extend it, but nope, that landmine closed. That took us down to 61.06, delete. Congrats if you went short and you got it. So here we went basically that way and then reversed to the downside. It took a while though, from February the 3rd, closed February the 12th. That's done. What else? All right, we're still, as I mentioned, in a downward channel, and that could touch, well, I have to switch this over because the dates don't populate because I'm only doing this on the 5. But just keep that in mind. It's coming up if we continue our downward path. Boeing is the next one, up 1.51%. Let's see what happened. All right, to the north side, resistance 245.97, sell limit 248.39, as well as here down the road 250.74. This is just taking us to the outer bands, and I never expect it to get there, as I mentioned, and I always mention it. Right, that's a gap that will close at 239.40 if you like to go short, 236.36, 233.92, and roughly 231.50. The middle of the trend. Support takes us to 241.13. And this gap is done, closed on the 11th. Let's delete the price label to note that it hit. Oh, that's there. Oh, and we still have this gap at 227, but we are slightly in an upward channel, so I will expect price to hover around this line for a little while. Next, TSLY. Option R. All right, to the north side, 34.11, 34.36, 34.60. The middle of the trend. I've stopped trading this one as actively as I used to because they did a split or, yeah, a buyback or something, and then now it's more expensive, and I have so many other things I'm trading. Let's make this precise. All right, we could chop sideways here or continue our downward channel. All right, support 33.14, down the road 32.88 and 32.63. What happened looking left? All right, we hit a clear area of resistance. Your senses should be going off. Do I take the profits? Do I let it roll? See if we can match it and go higher? You just don't know. And then this is support, and it bounced. Resistance, another sell zone, buy zone, buy zone. And we've got things to the north side. That closed out, and the 32-week low is, well, 52-week low, but it got adjusted 31.83. And do I have another one? One more? Ugh, one more. I thought I was done. NIO. Oh, poor NIO. They've been whipping this one around 95. All right. What's happening here? Oh, resistance is here at 497. Did I already do that? No. But why did I mark that out already? Oh, well. We could chop sideways there. 506. Down the road, 510. Just retracing here. And 514. I feel like I've done this one, but I don't think so. But if I did, just ignore me, because I started with Rivian. I must have just done this for myself. All right, 489, 485-ish, support, buy-in 481. Look at that, bounced right up. All right, that's the gap to the south side, 476. Okay, there should be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Look at that, your clear sell signal. All right, that does it for me. That is a look at Rivian, Nike, Boeing, TSLY, and NIO. Have a great trading week.